Hey, guess what? It's um it's Jim. Hold on a second. Um I'm gonna put on my earphones. So I'm putting on my earphones just so I can make sure that what I'm saying to everybody in the podcast live cast that nobody watches, Sam and Jim show, I can hear everything correctly. Uh, Welcome everybody. This is the second live cast. This is just Jim standing here in the murder hole. Actually, no, it's not the murder hole. Murder hole is a proper noun. Uh, People have asked me, "Hey, what are you doing in the murder hole?" Um, and I always correct them. I say, "Murder hole is a proper noun." So it's capital MURDERHOLE. Murder hole is a proper noun. And Murder Hole is a happy place. Everybody who's ever been to Murder Hole has enjoyed themselves. I enjoy myself when I'm here in Murder Hole. It's a happy place. We make things, we do things, we contribute to ourselves. Murder Hole makes music. Murder Hole makes weapons. Murder Hole makes good memories. So, Murder Hole is a great place. There are several murder holes throughout the Southeast. There is Murder Hole Original Chapter, which is here where Jim is. Murder Hole Central uh, is in Chatham County. Murder Hole East used to exist in Moore County, I believe, and then it disappeared to go down south to Florida. And Murder Hole West is out in, well, I'm not going to say because that's top secret. And then there's also a potential for Murder Hole Palmetto. That's what I'm going to talk about here today in the second live stream from the Sam and Jim show experience. I'm going to talk about adventures, because that's what we talk about here on the Sam and Jim show experience. We experience live show, whatever. We just talk about our adventures, and we talk about life in the land of the longleaf pine. And being Jim, I like to do adventures. Also, Sam likes to do adventures, and Sam is adventuring a whole bunch. So Sam hasn't been able to join me. He wasn't able to join me for the first live stream because he was out adventuring. Because he's an adventurous fellow. He's quite a pirate, a land-based pirate, but Sam also owns a boat, so he goes out and does his seafaring adventures. He doesn't invite me because I'm a landlubber. Quite honestly, I'm a landlubber. I like being on solid ground. I like stable ground. I like mountains because I'm a hillbilly. Sam loves adventures on land, and Sam loves adventures on water. That's probably where he's at right now. I like to think so. I hope he's not being a dork. Well, no, he's never been a dork. Ever since I've known him, he's never been a dork. So you may hear crickets in the background. That's because being a landlubber and being a hillbilly, I love being outside. And so I always open the door so that I can hear the crickets. I can hear the cicadas. I can hear even the praying mantises out there. You may notice probably on my red shirt, there's some grass clippings. I was out weed eating. I like weed eating. Of course, my I prefer to be eating caramia, but sometimes I have to go out weed eating because that's what it takes when you're a landowner. Um, so that's what happens. Oh, of course, when we are on the Sam and Jim show, we always talk about what we carry every day. So I'm carrying a zebra pin right here. This is a zebra pin. You can get these at Office Depot, Office Max, probably even, any big box store, but also the internet. This is a Zebra 701, but the good thing about these 701s is they take Fisher ink pen refills. And so this pen is solid steel, but it also takes the Fisher refills. I don't know if they did that on purpose. They probably want you to use their own refills, but this pen takes the Fisher refills. You have to do slight modification to the little grommet in there. And these are great pens, especially once you put in the Zebra refill. They write great. They're awesome. You can put them in your shirt pocket, or you can also clip them to your t-shirt sleeve. And of course, my t-shirt I'm wearing today, based on Ben Franklin's publishing, Poor Richard's Almanac, Join or Die. So Join or Die is based on the colonies signing and committing to independence. So, like Ben Franklin said, hey, look, if we don't hang together, we'll all hang separately. So that's what my t-shirt's about. I love this t-shirt. It's great. A girl once said to me, she said, "Hey, Jim, you look great in red." So I had to always wear red. I don't know. I'm more of a earth tone guy. I like wearing earth tones. I like wearing browns, grays, khaki a lot. Black and gray, as you can tell from my hat. So that's just what I'm carrying for a pin today. The pistol that I carried today was, I'm back. I carried a Glock 34 today. This is the Glock 34. This is the Glock came out with the single stack 9mm. I put a Vickers Tactical +2 on it so I could carry +8 with one in the chamber. And this is the Blade Tech holster I carried in. I appendix carry. I'm a big guy. Usually I carry like really big guns, but if I'm going out in social situations, I usually carry this really small one. Hey, according to the FBI statistics, most gunfights require 3 to 4 rounds. I'm not going to trust that a lot. I'm going to put every shot I can if there's someone who wants to eat my brains or in my life and hurt the people that I care about. So carry as many rounds as you can. Use something that fits the situation. And in the situation I was in today, I recently traveled down to the Palmetto State. So you've got the land of the longleaf pine, and then you've got right below it the Palmetto State. So I was down in the Palmetto State, and I carried my G34. My G43, pardon me. My G43, holy smokes. I used to carry a G34 because I loved Denzel Washington in Man on Fire. I did carry G34 a lot, but This is a G43, and this is the holster for it. So I was in a social situation down in the Palmetto State. I went down to the Palmetto State, visited there, came back, took the long way home, spent some time in Yadkin County, went to Hamptonville, visited a store run by, they call it an Amish store, but I think they're Mennonites. Mennonites are great people. I've never met a Mennonite that wasn't a great person. And I got something awesome from the Mennonite store. They make great sandwiches, and had a sandwich on the porch with caramilla, and well, I was shopping. I went out on my own and went shopping, and so I got some pickled bologna, or as they call it, pickled bologna. I may have some right now. Still sealed. Still sealed. I'm going to have some of this. I like bologna. I've always been a fan of bologna. There's a lot of brine in this. And so I'm going to do my typical curry knife, which is my Benchmade Griptilian in safety orange with an orange lanyard. Oh gosh, there's so much brine. And so here it is, pickled bologna from a Mennonite store. Oh, wait. Holy crap, that's awesome. Got to wipe off your knife on your sleeve. Make sure it's sanitary. Oh my God, that I'm refraining from swearing because, wait, the brine. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Awesome. That's awesome. And wash it down with the king of beers. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's actually awesome. Pickled bologna is awesome. I'll have you know that that knife that I used to eat that bologna, I also used that knife to clean out the dog poo that was on my boots. But I washed it, and then I sanitized it, and then I used a MAP gas torch to double sanitize it, and then I triple sanitized it. So my knife was clean. I ate the pickled bologna, which is awesome. That apparently Mennonites sell, because Mennonites are pretty good people and they wouldn't sell crap. And that's true, because holy crap, that was awesome pickled bologna. In 2020, here in the land of the Longleaf Pond, we've had the pandemic, we've had earthquakes, all the crap that we've had to deal with pandemic protocols. I go to a Mennonite store who call themselves Amish. I don't know if they're really Amish, but that's not for me to judge. And then the pickled bologna with my knife, my pocket knife that I always carry. So that's part of the carry portion of the show, and the live stream podcast thing that nobody watches. So I used my pen to sign the receipt that I bought the pickled bologna with, while I was carrying a Glock 43 in the store. And then the knife I always carry, which isn't the most sexiest or high speed, but it gets the job done, and it'll cut paracord, seat belts, or flesh, and will also serve me pickled bologna. Oh gosh, that was great. That was awesome. And I also used it to open up the King of Beers, which is the second greatest beer. The first greatest beer is obviously Pabst Blue Ribbon, but second greatest beer is the King of Beers, which I bought. So no demonetization, because I bought this on my own. So I also wanted to talk about in this live cast, this live stream, there's been some crazy shit that goes around. I don't know what it is about 2020. 2020, I don't know if it's just because the pandemic hit and people were hypersensitive about everything that goes along with being in pandemic protocols. But I want to talk about there's the potential for a double hurricane to hit the southeastern United States. Oh, I'm back. I'm just setting down my second greatest beer. There's a potential for a double hurricane to hit the southeastern United States. It's Tropical Storm Laura, and it's Tropical Depression 14. So Tropical Depression 14 and Tropical Storm Laura are on track to hit the states, the coastal portions of the states in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm from the land of the Longleaf pine, and we always get hurricanes. So it's nothing different. It's nothing different for us. But I was like, wow. In 2020, we're getting two hurricanes at once, two potential hurricanes at once. I must say, Tropical Depression number 14 and Tropical Storm Laura, they're hurricanes yet, but they're on track to hit. Well, I think Laura's already hit the Caribbean. I think they're on track to hit Cuba. I think they already hit the Dominican Republic. Maybe at the time of this live stream that nobody watches. And then a Tropical Depression too. Tropical Depression number 14. I don't know. Whatever. It just seems weird. And I also wanted to talk about how everything is stupid and nothing makes sense. There's a mayoral candidate, and I'm pulling out my paper here that I write things down on. I don't do shared screens because it's the 21st century, and if you don't believe me, look it up on your own. So out in Sumter, South Carolina, the Palmetto State. So there was a mayoral candidate in Sumter, South Carolina. She decided it would be great to get herself some publicity and to maybe boost up her voting tallies. She decided it would be good to go on Facebook Live and pretend to be kidnapped, just to boost her visibility, just to boost her sympathy records, just to I don't know, maybe get her some votes. But this chick's name was Sabrina Belcher. So Sabrina Belcher in Sumter, South Carolina, she is a mayoral candidate. So she decided to fake being kidnapped. And she faked getting thrown into a trunk with an accomplice who was beating on the trunk, supposedly, with a baseball bat. And so she got on Facebook Live and she said, "Hey, everybody, I'm being kidnapped because nobody wants me to be the mayor. And so you all need to vote for me." So Sabrina Belcher in Sumter, the Palmetto State, faked her own kidnapping, posted it on Facebook Live. Of course, Facebook is retarded. And I don't mean that in the derogatory sense. I mean that if you're on Facebook, get off of it. I personally, as Jim, I got off of Facebook mid-July of 2020. Only went on once a week, and then as of August 1st, I haven't been on there at all. And because Facebook is pretty much poison. And you know what? After it took me 2 weeks, and no, I don't. I have no desire to get on face pages at all. Face pages is pretty much poison. It's not good really for anything. It's good for old people to rant about politics. It's also good for the uninformed to rant about politics, and it's also good for people to keep up with the Joneses. KUG, to Kudge. If you want to Kudge, KUJ, pardon me. If you want to KUJ, keep up with the Joneses, get on Facebook. No, I haven't been on Facebook. I haven't been on the face pages at all. So he live streamed her fake kidnapping on Facebook Live, and the police said, "Oh, crap, there's a mayoral candidate being kidnapped." And come to find out, she wasn't. It was all fake. And then they ended up charging her and the dude that supposedly kidnapped her. They charged her and that dude with conspiracy. And then they also charged her, Sabrina Belcher, also charged her with filing false police report. Also damaging because that takes away from the people that really have problems. I have an extreme disgust for people that file false police reports because that hurts the people that really need help. That's horrible. Yeah, I mean, filing a false police report really hurts the ones that really need it. I have an extreme distrust of authority, but I also have a slight respect for authority, and the people that file those false reports, that really hurts the ones that need help, or they need, they need help. So every time someone files a false report, that helps the ones that really need it. So screw Sabrina Belcher in Sumter, South Carolina, who's running for mayor. I hope you lose, and I hope everyone laughs you out of town, you jerk. Also, I wanted to talk about the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, particularly. I had been out of the world. I would travel down the Palmetto State, the upstate, really close to the Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee border up there. I traveled down there, and I was out of touch with the world news reports. I don't watch the news. People say, "Hey, Jim, you need to watch the news." No, I don't need to watch the news. I just need to know the news. So I don't watch the news. I read the news. Uh, so I went when I got back into the land of the longleaf pine. I got back into my familiar checkpoints, watching some of the videos from the DNC, from the Democratic National Convention, and Joe Biden, who is the Democratic Party's candidate for president. I don't think he wants to win. I think that Joe Biden is the Lord Benson of 1988. And I also think that Joe Biden is also very similar to Bob Dole of 1992, in that Lloyd Benson, when Dukakis went up against George Bush Sr., George Herbert Walker Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush was the very popular vice president of a very popular president, Ronald Reagan, who was running for president. And so the Democrats threw up Michael Dukakis and from the Northeast, and they needed someone to balance him out. And I think Lloyd Benson took one for the team when he ran with Dukakis in 88. And likewise, in 92, Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was president, going for re-election, and the Republicans needed someone who would give a good game, and so they had Bob Dole and Jack Kemp. Jack Kemp, who was a great representative from Ohio, and everyone who I've met in Ohio loves Jack Kemp. Lots of highways, streets, stadiums, buildings named after Jack Kemp, just like down in Texas too for Lloyd Benson. I think Joe Biden is just taking one for the team. I don't think Joe Biden wants to be president. I mean, Joe Biden he accepted the Democratic Party's nomination for president, and then he was supposed to give an hour-long speech, but he gave a 20-minute speech. He gave 20-minute speech, and then he basically plagiarized a Jack Layton speech while he was giving his acceptance speech. And Jack Layton is a Canadian Labor politician. And in 2011, Jack Layton, well, it wasn't a Jack Layton speech. Jack Layton wrote pretty much a pretty good, I wouldn't say thesis, but he wrote a really great paper, for lack of a better term. Jack Layton was a labor politician in Canada, and when he was dying in 2011, he wrote this speech. He wrote out, don't forsake. He said, basically, don't forsake hate for, war for peace. Don't forsake inclusiveness for hate. Don't forsake, being bad for good. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but Jack Layton wrote this letter out while he was dying, a politician up in Canada. And basically, Joe Biden ripped it off when he was doing his speech for the acceptance of the nomination. which he was supposed to do for an hour, but he did it for 20 minutes. I really, Joe Biden's just phoning it in. I mean, you can say will about his mental state. Some commentators on the internet are saying that, he's in the early stages of dementia. Maybe he is. I don't know. Having had a family member suffer from dementia, I don't know. I think he's just phoning it in. I don't think Joe Biden wants to be president. I think he is just taking one for the team. I think he's like Lloyd Benson in '88, and I think he's like Bob Dole. I think Joe Biden is the Democrat equivalent of the Republican candidate Bob Dole. And if you want to stretch this out, and this is my own theory, I think Joe Biden's like Lloyd Benson in '88. I think he's like 192, and I think that Joe Biden is like John McCain in '08. I think he was like, hey, look, all right, I'll take one for the team. I'm going to run for president. I'm going to choose Kamala Harris as my VP running mate. I don't know. I really think that Joe Biden's just taking one for the team. I think the Democrats are saving all their money for the 2022 elections, the midterm elections. I think that's where they're going to post it. I mean, the fact that he was supposed to give an hour speech to accept the nomination, and he did 20 minutes, basically. He did like 21 and a half, maybe. I think that's what it was. But it was basically a 20-minute speech. He's never left his basement since he secured it. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong lots of times, but I just look at things and I experience them and analyze them and come up with Jim's own interpretation. So those are the things I want to talk about. Was like the awesome, pickled bologna that I got from a Mennonite store. The time that I got to spend at the Mennonite store. Of course, I think they call it Amish store. It's out in Hamptonville, North Carolina. If you ever get a chance to go to Hamptonville, North Carolina, go to Shiloh, go to St. Paul's Church Road, and look for that country store. It's awesome. Got some chats that have come in. Hey, Jim, does your phone work? Apparently my phone does work. So, what does my phone say? Oh, well. My phone does work, and so so Sam is in. Sam.
Yeah, I was taking a nap waiting on you to let me into the studio.
Well, that's good. That's good, Sam. I'm glad you're in the studio.
I heard most of your show, though. That was great.
So, Sam.
Seems like you're doing pretty well for yourself tonight without me.
Oh, my show?
Yes.
Oh, it was my show?
It's the Jim show tonight. I think my internet's horrible.
I didn't know you would be joining me.
Well, I didn't either.
I didn't know you would be joining me, and so I had to make up things. I had to make up stuff. I had to make up stuff to talk about. So,
excellent. I enjoyed the.
What do you want?
That's good.
Yeah. Well, what do
I
you
just
want to
wanted to
talk
say,
about,
hey,
Sam?
it's going to be like, hey, what's going? What's up, Jim? Now, I was trying to get into your EDC part
Oh,
and talk
well,
about my awesome stuff that I carried today, but I didn't make it. So that's cool. I heard the part about whoever the idiot is that's running for president, the Joey Badinsky or whoever he is. Yeah, that kind of bored me a little, but good analysis.
I do what I can. I'm just talking about the things that I acknowledge are things that I observe. That's what it is.
Cool. Well, I
Cool.
also heard, yeah, good, cool story, bro. I also heard you when you corrected yourself on the Glock 34. That was not a 34. I heard it and I was like, ooh, 34, Jim. And it inspired me to go and get my gun belt out that I'm going to be trying out for the first time since putting it all together. So that's what I'll be carrying tomorrow. I thought maybe if you had your belt, you could talk about how you got your belt set up for all the people that are watching still.
I may talk about my belt,
Maybe we could
but
do a separate episode on our battle belt setup. Actually, mine's not really for that. Mine's for Steel Challenge, so it's different.
my belt's hanging that way. No, I'm ready to rock my Italian beauty. I'm all loaded up. I've got all the special ammo because I bought ammo before everybody went stupid, and so I've got a whole bunch of ammo. I'm ready to shoot everything up because I bought it before everybody went stupid. So I'm going to be shooting the Dan Red. The Dan Red is going to be rocking, and I'm going to have So Michael ammo to shoot it. Oh man, it's going to be great. I'm probably just going to shoot in the air. I'm just going to go pee 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 right in the air because I have so much ammo to spare.
Well, that's good. Maybe I can catch some of the projectiles when they come down and then reload them because I don't have much ammo. I did not spend money on ammo when I should have. I had 3 years to. We had the best chance ever to buy ammo, and I did not. I was busy having a child, or my wife had a child. We had a child, whatever, and spending all my money on that. So that's where all my money went. I've got a 1.5-year-old, so now I'm poor, and I don't have any ammo. So I am totally dependent on range ammo tomorrow. So as bad as that sounds, that's where I'm at in life right now. So all the watchers out there, if you're thinking about having a kid, go for it. Your ammo supplies will dwindle and you'll be poor.
Well,
it's true. It's a true story.
I would like to empathize. You know what? I will empathize, but I'm going to empathize 10 like I didn't have any damn money to buy any ammo. So I basically was waiting. I relied on a 30-30 and the 38 special. No, I was, it was like 3 years ago. I was like, oh, in the past 3 years, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy ammo. Woohoo. I love ammo. It's awesome. Brass, copper, and $6. That's what I've been buying. No, I just got lucky. I went to Wilkes County during the COOF crisis. I reconnected with a really dear old friend of mine. And while I was waiting to buy that person lunch, I went out and bought a shit ton of ammo up in Wilkes County. So apparently, Wilkes County, North Carolina, has a shit ton of ammo. Pallet loads. Well, 3 months ago. Well, no, 2 months ago. July. Yeah, July was 2 months ago. So they had a bunch of ammo. So I bought a bunch of ammo, and of course the youngest is an adult now, so he can buy his own ammo, so I don't have to buy it for him. And no, man. Hey, look, brother, if you need ammo, I'll have ammo for you. It'll
That's
be
good to hear.
Russian made. It'll be Russian. So Michael Russian.
Yeah. I also heard you talking about not watching the news. I don't watch the news either. I read the news like you do,
I don't.
Jim.
I
I think
don't
watching
watch
the
the
news is
I read the news.
probably the worst thing you can do with time. You're wasting your time watching the news. But I did. A good friend, a mutual friend of ours, told me that he had seen earlier tonight where it sounded like the Americans and the commies were mixing it up out in Portlandia tonight. And I haven't had time to sit down and see if there were any written reports on that yet, but I'm hoping that there's some commies getting some butts kicked because they need it. So I'll probably sit down and try to read about that tomorrow.
You know, yeah. What's crazy is it's been like 82 or 83 nights that they've been rioting, and mostly peaceful protests. Of course, O.J. Simpson, before he killed his wife, he had a mostly peaceful day. So they were mostly peaceful protests that have been happening in Portland for like 82, 83 days. I was like, holy shit. They've been throwing fireworks, setting buildings on fire with people inside them. It's incredible. I am quite.
Well, you know, here in the land of the Longleaf Pine, we had some of that go on too, but it didn't last near as long. So over in Raleigh, they had, you know, what was it, a few nights of that, just 3 or 4 nights of the heaviest riding they had seen there in a while. But I guess it fizzled out, or the RPD put it down quick enough. I don't know. I guess they're probably still having some protest here and there, I'm sure, but I don't think there's been any of that heavy rioting going on in North Carolina as much as the other states. But it's crazy. It's ridiculous. And it's pissing me off.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's unnecessary, and I'm really unsure of what their end game is. As I mentioned when I was giving my commentary on other things, I was like, I'm just not sure on what their end game is. Is like, are they just wanting to grab attention? Are they've never really stated this is what we want to do. This is our end game. These are the outcomes that we want. It's weird, and I don't know. And I know that people like to say, "Well, 2020 has been a weird year." Well, there have been lots of weird years in human history, and the fact that the United States is probably the predominant since the is the singular world power, and it controls media the way that it does, being the sole world power. Perhaps that gets the most attention. Hey, look, I just got to go back to, hey, be prepared, do good turns to everyone you meet, live the scout law, uphold the scout oath, take care of the ones that you like. Be aware of everything that's going on. Yeah, it's what the last thing I'm worried about is getting sick. The most things that I'm worried about is caring about the people that I really do care about a lot. My friends and the ones that it's just the ones that I care about the most. My friends and everybody else. That's the ones that I care about. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, I think right now more than ever, it's the time to build your community network of your family and friends, and like you said, take care of the folks that are around you. But yeah, I'm not too worried about getting sick either.
I'm not worried about getting sick. I'm not. Ever since all of these protocols went into effect, I've been going nonstop. And, I'm not worried about getting sick. I'm not worried about my youngins getting sick. I'm not worried about Katamia getting sick. I'm worried about physical violence to them. I'm worried about them not experiencing the dream. I'm worried about them losing out on I would guess the opportunity. I'm worried about them losing out on opportunity. And so I see the absolute retardedness, and I don't mean that in someone who's physically handicapped or mentally handicapped. I mean just people who know better, but they're acting stupid. I'm worried about those folks influencing those who actually have power. It's there are people who are in positions of power who have never had to work hard for a living. You may know this. I know that Sam has experienced this and met these type of people. They've never had to work hard in the private sector. People who have a business, people who have had to go to clock and work, those people know what's important. Their family is important. Their community is important. Their way of life is important. And they have no sympathy or empathy for the people that have never had to do that. They've just had to exist, and they've just had to complain, and they've had to been victims of circumstance. And you know what? One good that this pandemic and the coof calls have had on me is don't be addicted to outrage. Don't be outrage. And that's why off social media, other than the YouTubes where we can bitch about anything we want to the entire internet. Don't be addicted to outrage. I got off social media and I got off all of these different venues that fed me all these inputs from everybody who were addicted to being outraged over anything they could think about. They were addicted to being outraged over somebody didn't talk to them right in the drive-thru. Someone didn't talk to them right in the grocery store. They went to the florist. They went to the cobbler. They went to the tailor. They went to the tire shop. They went to the oil change. And they were outraged or offended by something that happened there. And I was like, look, stop being a victim. Stop being an imaginary victim. Stop being addicted to outrage. And that's what I had to do. I was like, I have certain beliefs, as you do too, Sam, probably very similar. I was like, you know what? Stop being addicted to outrage. You know what? Just stop. Just stop. Stop being an addict. Let's say that someone would be addicted to cocaine or black tar heroin or brown Lebanese hash. That's a joke. That's an inside joke. Stop being addicted to outrage. Not everything is a personal affront to how you live your life, and get back to what matters the most to you. Get back to what matters to who you are. Get back to what matters to what you want your progeny to be. And that's a fancy word for some of your kids. And focus on that. Focus on what makes you a better person. And like I said, during the coof, all the things that happened in the coof, I was a porky asshole. So I dropped like 30 pounds. I still want 25 more to go. And made my kids, my progeny, my posterity, more self-reliant, so that they didn't have to rely on me, and be a better person to my friends, be a better person to the ones that I liked a lot. So getting back to it, ignore all the crap. Focus on what is important. Focus on defending yourself. And defending yourself means not only your personal space, but also your personal health. Focus on defending those you care about. Focus on defending what is important to them and supporting them. And, you know, be an alpha, don't be a beta. You know, that's be an alpha, don't be a beta. Be the one that people are going to run to. Don't be the people that they're going to run away from.
Oh, people are going to run away.
And drink good American-made beer. Oh yeah,
What do you got there?
They'll run away.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, good thoughts, Jim. Good thoughts. We've almost run this thing up to an hour, so I don't know if anybody's still out there or not. But
oh wow!
Thanks for joining in.
All right. Well, you know what? Everybody. Thanks for joining in to the podcast that nobody watched. Sam, what do you got to say? I'll leave it up to you. I've been talking way too much.
It's great to see everybody, and we'll be doing this again soon. So next time we'll have lots of good stories about the steel match we're going to shoot tomorrow, and we'll talk about our gear that we use for that. That'll be a good segment. And yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what the next show is going to be starting out on. That'll be our first segment next show, and we'll talk about how bad Jim got beat by Sam. Or maybe it'll be the other way around this time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my internet's crap, so I'm getting out of here.
Hey,
everybody have a nice night. Sam out.
Have a nice night, everybody. Jim out. Keep on rocking, baby.